I had not learned something that you Rotarians already knew. Service above self.
Those ideas could be the things of the future.
We need to structurally change the way we're educating kids. Not nationwide, it's worldwide.
That we're rising to the task, as we always have in this country.
Today, our speaker, Dr. Susan Martin, who joined San Jose State University as interim president just last year, after serving for the previous 7 years as president of Eastern Michigan University. Martin arrived at EMU during a period of leadership instability, declining enrollment, and campus safety concerns. She built a diverse leadership team, achieved record enrollment growth, and made sizable investments in facility, hiring, financial aid, and capital improvements. Capital investments included a new science complex and renovations of EMU's largest classroom building, serving 10,000 more students on a typical day. Dr. Martin has a doctorate and an MBA in accounting from Michigan State University. She earned her graduate and doctoral degrees while working full-time for the state of Michigan as an assistant auditor general, deputy state treasurer, and commissioner of revenue. Essentially, don't mess with her. She has the numbers covered. Dr. Martin is married to economist Larry Martin, a facility member at Michigan State University. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to Dr. Susan Martin.
Well, I sure didn't know I was going to have to follow our San Jose State alumni, Luis Valdez. I mean, you didn't tell me that, Geraldine. So I'll do my best. I'm sure I can't top him, but I am thrilled to be invited here to the Rotary. I really appreciate everything you do, and the fact that you have such a strong, vibrant chapter is an inspiration. You know, sometimes you get phone calls, and I've had 3 significant phone calls in my life. So the first one was when I was in the first year of the PhD program, and my oldest child was still an infant, and I got a call to be deputy treasurer of local government. I'd never supervised a person to run the property tax system, et cetera, and I said, sure, I'll do that while I continue in the PhD program. I said yes. The second call was when I was interviewing to be a college professor. I finished that PhD, and I got a call to be commissioner of revenue and run Michigan's tax system. And I said, well, I teach tax. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, why not? So I eventually got to become a college professor at Grand Valley State in 1988. And you know, I went on and with my career, and somehow I ended up being a president at Eastern Michigan University. Never had a thought of doing that. And I was just finishing my last week, looking forward to a year's sabbatical, and the phone rings. And it's Chancellor Tim White saying, I got this great idea. Why don't you come to San Jose? I'm like, why would I do that? So I talked to him a little bit. It's very interesting. Eastern Michigan and San Jose State were both normal schools, founded in 1849, 1857. A lot of similarities in diversity, students with an attitude and an edge, and a great public university that turns people's ordinary lives into extraordinary careers. And I read about it, and I had a lot of time to decide. I had to give him an answer the next morning. So here I am, 9 months later. You know, and I really identified with our students, because we arrived on move-in weekend in mid-August. And we moved into the residence hall too, because the former president hadn't moved out of the president's house. So we moved in the residence hall and had a puppy. I thought I had a year off, so I got a puppy. So we had a puppy, we were living in the residence hall, and so I told the students that, you know, like, you just moved away from home? Well, me too. I am waking up in the middle of the night, just like you, looking out the window going, is that a palm tree? Where am I? What was I thinking? So I'm a Michigander. I have, 10 years of state government, 28 years in higher ed. And I want to give you a little information about San Jose State from somebody that's here with fresh eyes from across the country. As compared to Michigan, we read about Silicon Valley and sunny California, but until you live here, it's incomprehensible to describe. I mean, I come from Michigan that lost 800,000 jobs when the 2009 downturn, 800,000 jobs, and they have not regained them. It's slowly coming back. I come from Michigan where the public universities are not growing. In fact, we're competing aggressively. I had a very aggressive financial aid strategy to discount, to get students to come to Eastern Michigan. I come here. California State University system has 23 campuses. It is the largest public university system in the world. We estimate this year we will turn away 30,000 students that are qualified for admission. More than that, but of those that are qualified for admission, we will turn away 30,000. I mean, this is a different planet of prosperity that I have never seen, attracting talent, innovation, and the best and the brightest from around the world. And compare that to the city of Detroit. My parents grew up in the city of Detroit. I've watched it for 65 years, and I dearly love it. But the city of Detroit has gone from a population of over 1 million to 700,000 and continuing to decline. San Jose, 1 million people, and you're going to grow to 1.4 million lickety-split before you blink your eyes. Of course, we won't be able to drive anywhere when that happens. And I don't know where everybody will live, You read things in the paper like in October, 17,500 new jobs in Santa Clara County, and I think most of those people are moving here. February, we had a downturn, right? And we only had 7,500 new jobs in February in Santa Clara County. I mean, these are stunning for me to see. And the one thing I'll tell you about San Jose State that I really love, it is 33,000 students. We are packed. And the students, there is a special vibe on campus and being in the heart of downtown San Jose. There is an energy, an attitude of, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get it done. And they go around and they're talking about gear ratios and nursing, and they're talking about what they're studying, and they want to learn more. And you're dodging a skateboard, and, and then they're protesting something because it matters. And that's a typical day, okay? I mean, you gotta love the place. I've never been anywhere with this kind of energy and enthusiasm, and I've been in higher ed for 28 years. It has been a fantastic experience, and I love going across the campus. I now have a Spartan bike, blue and gold, that I'm gonna be riding around campus on, but you gotta love dodging those skateboards, and I've never seen, I've never been on a campus that had so many babies. Everybody comes to campus, I'm like, where are all these babies going? The strollers, every day. Everybody wants to come and wander around our campus because it's beautiful, it's full of energy, it's full of optimism, it just has a special feel. So what's happening on our campus? Well, our campus was founded in 1857. Remember, we were the first public university west of the Missouri. And we are the top supplier of talent to Silicon Valley, by far, of any university in the United States of America. We don't get the national recognition we deserve. We are turning out extraordinary people that transform their families forever because they got a college degree. Like me, I went to a one-room school, first generation. I'm a college president twice. Go figure. I'm not that smart, I just work hard, okay? My first job was as a pickle packer, okay? Pickle packer to president. And you know how I got there? Because I got a college degree. Because I got a college degree at a public university, which is why I love public universities like San Jose State. When I came here, though, I thought I knew what I was getting into, and it was, campus people were a little upset. Morale was low. I found out our accreditation wrote up saying, gee, the top 6 leadership positions, you've had 30 people turn over in the last 10 years. I'm kind of like, what is it? They come here, they unpack, they go, I'm getting out of here. It wasn't just the presidency turning over. So I'm very pleased to tell you that we really have a great cabinet. We're having a very smooth transition with our incoming President Papazian, who is a sitting president at Southern Connecticut. This is her home. She wants to come to San Jose and stay a long time, which is certainly what this campus needs, a long-term president with a great leadership team. We are recruiting some new leaders, a library dean, engineering dean, business dean, and also the chief diversity officer search is concluding, new president selecting that, and our vice president for finance and administration. But the chemistry is good on the team, and I think the feel on campus is strong. We're together, we're working together, and we're moving forward. So what are we doing together on campus that you're gonna see if you come and stroll with the babies? You're gonna see the new president, and she's gonna be initiating a strategic planning process. We worked this year with our faculty and our students and got input from the campus on that process and the timetable, so that is ready to go on her arrival. So we'll be doing that. We'll be taking a look at our facilities, and we'll actually be doing some work on them for a change, okay? And I mean our academic facilities and our athletic facilities, which have been woefully neglected. It's embarrassing. We're the top supplier of talent to Silicon Valley, and some of our buildings are really decrepit and an embarrassment. We should not be educating young people in these facilities. So we're going to do something which is recognize the fact, Dudley Moorhead Hall. So instead of my provost walking around handing out ice water, we're actually going to move everybody out for 6 months somewhere on campus. I don't know where we're going to put them. We're going to move everybody out and put air conditioning in, because we're just recognizing that realistically we're going to have to use that building for the next 10 years. We're just going to have to use it longer. We hope to replace it, but in the meantime we got to do a couple things to just keep the facility a place that people can learn and thrive in. So we're going to do that. That'll be exciting. Good luck on finding those people on campus and those classes. It'll be exciting for us, but I've done bigger projects in the past, and we're confident we have a good plan. Now, adding the fact that we're going to shut down that building and move those classes and those faculty and staff somewhere else on campus, we're also addressing the thing every student told me the first week I was here. I said, if you were president for a day, what would you do? And they said, you can't get classes that we need. And we look at the fact that we actually have about 11,000 students with 90 credits or more piled up trying to get out of our university, and we'd like them to graduate. And we see that on average they're graduating with 140 credits. That tells us that they may be taking a class they don't need to keep their financial aid. They have to be full-time while they're waiting to get a class they do need to graduate. So we've allocated $2.7 million for the upcoming academic year to provide 500 additional sections of classes in areas that are needed, so that we can not only graduate those students that need to get out, but get more students in. So create room to get more students into our university and get them through. So we're excited about that, and that's a big initiative for us. We also are fully moved into the student union. It only took 5 years and a few million over budget. I'm not going to disclose, but it finally is done, and it is beautiful. If you have not been on campus to the student union, please come walk over. We're right across the street, and take a look. It's a fabulous facility. It is amazing, and our students love it. So we're excited about that. Campus Village, our last residence hall is completed, 850 new beds. We'll be tearing down 2 old buildings that have 400 beds, so that's a net of 450 new additional beds on campus that will open up this fall. Why are we tearing down those 2? Because we're going to build a new rec and aquatic center at that location, so that's exciting for us. We're also going to be starting some work on the South Campus. Athletics is doing some significant fundraising. So given the work that we need on our campus and our academic facilities, our athletic facilities, and many other things, if you have ever wanted to see your name on a classroom or a building, I'm the man, come talk to me. I got a place for you to have your name on our campus. We really need support from our alumni. Our alumni are our greatest asset. So now, I want everybody that is an alumni of San Jose State to raise your hand. Okay, so if you keep your hand up, I have Barry and Zaina that are going to bring you an alumni Spartan pin, okay? Your free bonus gift today. It's for our alums, so they'll run around and bring you a pin while I continue. I do want to let you know we're excited about our fundraising on campus. We had a gala March 19th in our new student union, and we also named the student union after Lupe Diaz-Campion. It's going to be the Campion Student Union. She and her husband gave a gift of $15 million to support student programming, our student union, and our students. We're very, very grateful to her. And she is wonderful. She stood up and said, no big deal. You know, really? Tremendous. And what we're really excited about is that in 2006-07, that was our largest fundraising year of $50 million. And Vice President Paul Lanning arrived a few weeks before I did. He's brand new, but he has led an effort that has resulted in $41.5 million in 9 months so far. And so we are rocking and rolling and look forward to doing even more. We also have commitments for about $10 million of work on our South Campus athletic facilities, which have remained untouched for over 50 years. And Jean Blameyer, our athletic director, has been leading those efforts as well. But we need a lot more, so please help us out. Our student success initiatives have been underway, and they have been bearing fruit in improving our retention and graduation rates. And we are a unique place to learn. We want to tell you a little bit more about what's coming up, not just getting air conditioning in DMH, but ta-da, we're actually planning the science building, and it has been approved by the Board of Trustees. It's going to happen. We're going to have a new science building, a new academic facility on our campus at last. So that's very exciting for us. Very much needed, and looking forward to that. So, football. We went to a bowl game based on our brains, but our brawn carried us through, and we won. Yes. Women's soccer won the Mountain West Championship as well. So we're excited. We really are on the cusp of greatness, and we need the national recognition. So tell your friends about San Jose State. Tell them what a fantastic place it is, because coming with fresh eyes and having the honor to serve this great university, you have an amazing, special dinosaur. And why do I call it a dinosaur? Because there's probably only 20 big public universities remaining in the United States of America that have stayed true to their mission to provide access to higher education for ordinary working class people like me. We see performance measures and metrics, and that's all well and good. But if you can improve those metrics by just being very selective with students, and you can walk away from your mission, and San Jose State University has not done that. It believes in its mission. And sometimes we get criticized for our 4-year graduation rates, but I tell you what, half the students in the California State University system, which is the largest in the world, graduate with no debt. Do you know why? Their families may not believe in debt, or they just want to work their way through, which is why you hire them. They know how to work. They choose to take 5 to 6 years. They work for multiple employers, and they hit the ground running when they come out. So we're very proud of what we do here. San Jose State's diversity reflects the future face of America. It is a truly amazing place, and if you have not walked across the street in a while, come visit us. Come see the vibe, come feel the energy, and please come support us. Thank you so much for welcoming me to San Jose. It has been a huge honor to serve you. Anyone have any questions?
Traveling mics to, here we go. Your Honor?
So where do you go from here? Has Harvard called?
No, I go back to Eastern Michigan. Actually, I had a year's sabbatical, and the board kindly changed my contract to have that waiting for me when I come back. And I just was talking to Annette Nellen, tax professor here. I actually will be greeted warmly because there's a national shortage of accounting and tax professors. That's what I teach. So I'm a little rusty on the tax stuff, not having taught in a while, so I have to publish 2 articles to be qualified to teach, and I'll be doing that, and playing with my grandchildren a bit, and my puppy, trying to get him to stay, come fetch, yeah. But I'm really looking forward to it. I have returned to the faculty many times in my career, so I've kind of gone up and down like that, and I really love being on the faculty. I look forward to a closer relationship with students that you get in a semester.
Do you still live in the residence hall? And did you try, and speaking of finance, did you try buying a house here?
Fortunately, this campus has a president's home. Many of the 23 campuses do not. They just get a housing allowance, which wouldn't, given the cost of living here, it certainly wouldn't provide the kind of, there's a beautiful house. It's in the Rose Garden. We use it for entertaining on behalf of the university. So I moved in there in October, mid-October, so.
Sue, you've been a breath of fresh air here, and it's sad to see you go. I know we have a good president coming, and so that's nice. But tell us what you see in terms of education finance in California, and what, in your perspective, coming from a state finance background and an academic background, what we can do in this state, the richest state and the richest nation in the world, to properly pay for education.
Well, I really do believe the state I come from, Michigan, I have to say, has the honor of being 50th of the 50 states in funding higher education in the past 10 years. Nobody cut more than Michigan. And in my time that I've been in higher ed, we went from funding from the state of Michigan for 70% of the operating expenses of the public universities to less than 20%. That causes tuition increases, which are a hardship to students. Now, California has a better record of supporting public education, but again, has really walked away from the promise that I think generations, parents and grandparents paid taxes believing that access to higher education would be available to them at a public institution, and that they would have a few to pick from. They'd be able to say, well, I think I'd like to go to this one or that one, and that the student would actually be able to choose. Remember what I said earlier? We think we're going to turn away over 30,000 qualified students. I don't know if it's time to overturn Prop 13 or just new appropriation or some funding, but you've got to fund higher education. If you want to continue the prosperity here, I mean, you're going to need 1.1 million is the current estimate more college degrees in this state to meet the demand for talent. And you've got the California State University system, the UC system, and community colleges that together can produce those degrees. But we are limited. I am held accountable to not grow more than 1% because we can't afford to. It's tragic. Sorry.
Thank you, first of all, so much for saying that, and I hope that the right people and legislators are hearing you, because that is one of the greatest challenges. Another factor that I believe increases the graduation time to longer than 4 years, besides the 2 that you mentioned, is the fact that so many students come in needing remediation and don't really start working toward graduation. The high schools are increasing rigor. More and more of us are implementing A through G requirements. Our students appear to be completely well prepared for the Cal State system when they come in. So why is there this misalignment?
Yeah, you know, and it's true across the country. Of course, you see the challenges in K through 12 that students are graduating, but they're going to college and they're not prepared, and they're doing remedial work, and not just a little, but a lot. Here's the facts for San Jose State. A third of our students arrive and are not prepared. A third. They're not going to graduate in 4 years. They just can't. They've got to do work that should have already happened. I went to a one-room school, and you even had to have pretty penmanship to get out of there. Mrs. Murray was relentless. And, you know, now, I mean, now the city of Detroit is the worst public school system in the nation. Only 1 out of 5 graduate. They're not even graduating them. So what has happened in education in this country is affecting the time to degree, the persistence in college. You know, people sometimes get to college and they don't stay. And I'll tell you a little secret, there's a gender gap in this country. Many public universities, it's 55 to 60% women, which I want to say yay. But you know what? They're graduating faster, they're smarter, they work harder, and the boys are kind of not keeping up. And over time, that will have a profound effect in this country as a whole, if we continue to have that imbalance. So.
Yeah, thanks so much. I agree with Rod. You're such a breath of fresh air, and it's been a joy to listen to you and your enthusiasm for San Jose State, which I think some of us take for granted, because there it is. And I just love to listen to you talk about it with such enthusiasm about what goes on over there. What I'm wondering is, it does seem that there isn't a real integration between the university community and the community of San Jose. And I'm wondering if you've seen that, and if you have any thoughts about how to better make this a college town instead of a town with a college in it.
Yeah. Well, there actually is more integration. And again, I say that we need to shine a light on us, because there are literally dozens of initiatives between our faculty, our students, staff, and the community. Com University is a great example of that. We're doing so much in the community, but nobody really knows about it. We haven't been present and visible, okay, with what we're doing, and we need to show that more and become more integrated. But I'm told at one time it was almost like you had a wall around the campus, and I think that we do have a very free flow between downtown, and as downtown has improved, our students are living, working, feeling good about being in the city, and back and forth a lot more than they have been in the past. And during this year as interim, I've been trying to go to as many things as I can in the community and be active on community boards and meet with the mayor regularly, and so we've done quite a bit, and the rest of the leadership team believes in that, as do our deans. So hopefully you'll begin to be more aware of San Jose State's presence in the community, because we're out there. You just don't know it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Martin, to your left. I know that we used to fund most of our educational system through taxpayers and through the taxes until Proposition 13 came on the scene. And then we have the California Lottery, which I understood was going to be the source of funding for our school system. Do you know anything about how that lottery funding works and how that gets over to the school system?
I don't know the issue in California. I can tell you in Michigan, that's true. It's devoted 100% to education. But what happened within the total state budget in Michigan was, yes, all the lottery money went, but they decreased the other support. So in effect, it negates the effect of the lottery going when you're reducing other operating revenues to it. So I don't know the numbers in California. I am a numbers lady, but I honestly can't answer your question.
Hi, President Martin. It's Janica, proud alum and also member of the San Jose State Alumni Association. And one of the things I want to challenge the group here and to share with others about that relationship with the university and downtown is we alums need to be more vocal that we're alums. We need to talk about the fact that we're alums from San Jose State, really start to share the stories, and be Spartans throughout your daily travels. So I just challenge you all to make sure that you're become vocal alums. My question to you is, you've been great at the capital projects on campus. I'm really excited, especially air conditioning. It's been too long, oh my goodness, in the science building. What about an alumni house? San Jose State could use an alumni house. We need a place, a physical place for us alums to come and feel welcome at.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about that. I think there are a number of things on the campus that need to be prioritized and addressed, but I will tell you, I won't be here next year, but Paul Lanning, can you raise your hand? He's your #1 champion for a space and alumni. He talks to me about it almost every time we meet, so he's the man to get behind. Paul's advocating for this very strongly, and I'm sure he will with our incoming president.
I'd like you to... Sure. Thank you for joining us today. I'm in technology because I'm fascinated by it. However, I'm seeing a lot of people, or the threat of a lot of people who aren't fascinated by it, being replaced by it. We have self-driving cars coming. Now they're talking about artificial intelligence replacing anybody who's not doing something with original thought. I'm concerned for my nephew. What careers is the college pushing that are going to be safe from my beloved technology?
Well, how can I, you know what's fascinating about San Jose and Silicon Valley? Has anybody noticed that everybody just is coming to the center of technology and innovation to be together in person, not via technology, to work together in person, to be with other people, to create ideas in person? Despite all the technology we have, people still need to interact with people. We don't really push any careers. I think all of us that have gone along in our careers, you have to find your own way. And often that's in graduate school where you realize what you really want to do. That's when I turned into an accountant. But, you know, I actually advocate very strongly, if a young person doesn't really know what they want to do, to actually get a college degree in the liberal arts, maybe take a little technology or business, some practical skills, but get a degree in the liberal arts to be a well-read, educated person that will be nimble, because my children are going to change jobs multiple times in their lifetime. In fact, they seek to change jobs as quickly as possible. And whereas I worked at Grand Valley State for 18 years, government 10 years, that's not the career of the future. It's to move. And I'll tell you one thing I learned in Silicon Valley that I love, that I'm going to take back and tell people about, is that in Silicon Valley, you want to seek to fail as quickly as possible so you can succeed. And that means you need to be nimble, and I don't care what you graduate in. As long as you graduate and are open and able to work with other people and a thoughtful, educated person, I think you'll be successful in the future.
You are a breath of fresh air, but I would like you to explain the relationship between two things that you said. One is that we're turning away 30,000 qualified students, and that the other is that 1/3 of the students in San Jose State are in remediation. Now, what's the relationship between those two?
You know, of the 30,000 that are waiting, some of those when they come in are going to be facing the same issue. So I could get more data. I don't have in terms of how to pull that apart, but we're not, I think your premise of your question is that we're taking students who aren't qualified instead of students that are qualified. Everybody, we admit, is qualified that comes to our campus. But many of our students, about 1/3, need some type of remedial work, even though they meet our admissions requirements.
That's
Okay.
it? All right.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Martin.
By the way, Spartan up.